Let's talk about the ugliest feeling in the world. A feeling you would never admit to, not even to yourself. Envy. That hot, bitter poison that floods your veins when you see someone else succeed. When they get the promotion you wanted, the partner you desired, the recognition you crave, you feel it. And then you feel ashamed for feeling it. You have been taught that envy is a sin, a mark of a small, petty character. Carl Jung, a man who stared into the darkest corners of the human soul, would tell you that is a lie. Your envy is not a sin. It is a compass, and it is pointing directly to your own unclaimed treasure. You scroll through social media. You see the curated highlight reels of others' lives, the perfect bodies, the exotic vacations, the successful businesses, and you feel that familiar, sickening lurch in your stomach. It is a mix of admiration and hatred. You either find a reason to dismiss their success, they were lucky, they cheated, or you turn that bitterness inward, concluding that you are a failure. This feeling drains you. It makes you resentful. It poisons your relationships and sabotages your own efforts. You are trapped in a secret, shameful war against the success of others, and it is a war you can never win. You have been told to suppress this feeling, to be happy for others, to practice gratitude. But this is like putting a Band-Aid on a venomous snakebite. What if, instead of trying to kill this feeling, you learn to listen to it? Jung and the great philosopher Nietzsche understood that our darkest emotions are not our enemies. They are our most honest and most powerful guides. Envy is not a sign of your weakness. It is the raw, untamed energy of your own unlived potential, screaming to be unleashed. Today, we are not going to teach you how to stop being envious. We are going to teach you how to use your envy as a weapon, as a map, as a rocket fuel for your own greatness. This is the art of alchemizing poison into power. To understand the power of envy, you must first understand the lie you were told about it. The lie is that good people don't feel envy. This is a moralistic fairy tale, a piece of what Nietzsche would call slave morality, designed to keep you small and harmless. The truth is, everyone feels envy. The difference between the successful and the unsuccessful is not that one group is free from envy. It is that the successful have learned, consciously or unconsciously, how to use it. Envy is a primal biological signal. It is a form of pain, and pain's purpose is not to make you suffer. Its purpose is to give you information. When you touch a hot stove, the pain is a signal to pull your hand away. When you feel the pain of envy, it is a signal from the deepest part of your psyche. The signal is simple. That person has something that you believe you need to have in order to be whole. Pay attention. The weak man misunderstands this signal. He thinks the message is, that person is better than me. I should hate them. Or, I am a failure. I should hate myself. This is the path to resentment and depression. The strategist, the alchemist of the soul, hears the signal differently. He hears, there, that is a clue. That is a piece of my own forgotten destiny. Let's investigate. To do this, he uses a 3-step process of psychological alchemy. The first step is what Jung would call identifying the golden shadow. You do not envy people randomly. You only envy those who display a quality that you yourself possess. but have disowned, suppressed, and pushed into your unconscious. This is the golden shadow, the brilliant, powerful, successful version of you that you are too afraid to become. The person you envy is not your enemy. They are a mirror. They are a ghost of your own unlived potential. When you feel that sharp sting of envy, do not turn away in shame. Turn towards it with the curiosity of a detective. Look at the person and ask, with brutal honesty, what exactly am I envious of? Do not settle for a superficial answer, like their money or their success. Dig deeper. Is it their freedom? Their discipline? Their courage to be authentic, even if it makes others dislike them? Their unapologetic ambition? Let's take an example. You are an artist working a safe, boring corporate job. You see another artist on social media who has made it. They are living off their art. They are celebrated, and you feel a wave of bitter envy. The weak response is to find fault with them. Their art is commercial. They sold out. They're not a real artist. This is the poison of resentment. The strong response is to interrogate the envy. What do I truly envy? It's not just their money. It is their courage. They had the courage to take a risk that I was too afraid to take. They had the courage to believe in themselves. In that moment, you have not learned something about them. You have learned something profound about yourself. You have discovered a piece of your own golden shadow. You have found the X on your treasure map. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Carl Jung. The second step in this alchemy is to decode the desire. Once you have identified the specific quality you envy in another person, you have found the X on your treasure map. But a map is useless if you don't know how to read it. The weak man sees the east and is paralyzed by it. He is courageous, and I am a coward. It is too late for me. He uses the discovery as another reason to hate himself. The strategist does the opposite. He treats the discovery as a set of coordinates, a destination, and he begins to plot a course. This is a profound shift from a passive emotional state to an active, strategic one. You stop hating the other person. They are no longer your rival. They are your unwitting mentor. They are a living, breathing example of a possibility you have forgotten. The question is no longer, why them and not me? The question becomes, what are the specific, repeatable actions they took to develop that quality? And how can I adapt those actions to my own life? This is not about imitation. It is about reverse engineering. You are a general, studying the successful campaigns of another general. You don't copy his every move. You extract his principles. Let's go back to our artist in a corporate job, envious of the successful artist. He has identified that what he truly envies is not money, but courage. Now he decodes that desire. What does courage look like in the context of an artist? It's not one single act. It's a series of small, consistent actions. He might break it down like this. Action 1. The courage to create consistently. The successful artist probably paints every single day, even when they don't feel inspired. That is a trainable habit, not a magical gift. So, the aspiring artist makes a new law for himself. I will draw for 15 minutes every day. No excuses. It doesn't have to be good. It just has to be done. Action 2. The courage to share. A successful artist puts their work out into the world, vulnerable to criticism. So the aspiring artist makes another law. Every Friday, I will post one small sketch online, even if it's terrifying. Even if no one likes it, he is practicing the act of being seen. Action 3. The courage to learn. The successful artist likely spent years studying, getting feedback, and improving his craft. So the aspiring artist signs up for a class. He asks a more experienced artist for a portfolio review. He embraces the discomfort of not being the best. Do you see what is happening? He has taken the vague, poisonous cloud of envy and transformed it into a clear, actionable battle plan. The other artist is no longer a source of pain. He is a source of data, a roadmap. Envy, when decoded, becomes your personal curriculum for self-overcoming. It shows you exactly what you need to train, what you need to practice, what you need to become. This is the great secret. Your envy is not a confession of your inferiority. It is a revelation of your own undeveloped capacity for greatness. It is your soul pointing the way home. Let's take another, more difficult example. You envy someone's perfect relationship. Your first instinct is resentment. They are just lucky. The strategist's instinct is curiosity. What specifically do I envy? Is it their constant communication? That is a skill that can be learned. Is it their shared sense of adventure? That is a choice that can be made. Is it the way they look at each other with deep respect? That is a standard that can be set for your own future relationships. You are no longer a passive victim of your loneliness. You are an active student of connection. The person you envy is no longer a symbol of your lack. They are a free lesson. He who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. Friedrich Nietzsche. The third and final step is the most powerful. It is where we move from Jung's diagnosis to Nietzsche's cure. It is the alchemy of the will to power. Identifying the golden shadow and decoding the desire are acts of the mind. They give you clarity. They give you a map. But a map will not carry you up the mountain. For that, you need fuel. You need energy. You need fire. Nietzsche believed that the fundamental drive of all life is the will to power, the will to grow, to expand, to overcome obstacles, to become more than one is. Envy, in its raw, unprocessed state, is a destructive, life-denying form of this will. It turns outward, seeking to diminish or destroy the object of its pain. It is a will that says no to the success of another. But what happens when you turn that powerful, destructive energy inward? Not as self-hatred, but as a fuel for self-creation. This is the alchemy. You take the hot, burning poison of envy, and you use it to fuel the forge of your own ambition. The next time you feel that sting of envy, you do not suppress it. You do not feel ashamed of it. You welcome it. You feel its heat. You feel its raw, untamed energy. And you say to yourself, good, this is fuel. You channel that energy, that anger, that frustration, not into complaining or resenting. You channel it into action. You see your rival get a promotion? Do not go home and drink. Go home and work. Use the sting of their success to push you to stay up an hour later, to make 10 more calls, to refine your strategy. Use their victory as a declaration of war on your own mediocrity. You are not trying to tear them down. You are using their fire to ignite your own. This is the essence of a noble rivalry. It is not about destruction. It is about mutual escalation. This is a profound shift in mindset. You are no longer a victim of your envy. You are its master. You have become an alchemist of the soul. You have learned how to take the most toxic substance in the human psyche and turn it into the rocket fuel of your own becoming. As Nietzsche wrote, "Behold, I teach you the Bermensch. He is this lightning. He is this madness." The energy of your envy is that lightning. It is that madness. The weak man is destroyed by it. The overman learns to ride it. Think of it in physical terms. The pain you feel in the gym is the muscle tearing, only to rebuild itself stronger. The emotional pain of envy is your psyche tearing itself, showing you where you are weak, where you need to grow. To run from that pain is to remain weak. To face it, to use it, to metabolize it into disciplined action is to become unbreakable. This is the final forbidden secret of envy. It is a gift. It is a fire. And it is meant to burn away everything in you that is not yet great. So you see the forbidden alchemy, the identification of the golden shadow, which gives you the map, the decoding of desire, which gives you the coordinates, and the channeling of the will to power, which gives you the fuel. This is the three-step process for transforming the ugliest of human emotions into the engine of your own greatness. Your envy is not a moral failing. It is a spiritual homing device. It is the most brutally honest guide you will ever have. The world will give you 1,000 confusing signals about who you should be. Society, your parents, your friends. They all have an agenda for you. But your envy has no agenda. It has only one pure, unadulterated message. There. That is a part of your own unlived life. Go and claim it. It is the voice of your own potential, crying out from the prison of your shadow. To feel ashamed of it is to feel ashamed of your own destiny. So how do you begin to practice this dangerous and beautiful art in your daily life? First, create a shadow journal. This is your laboratory. For the next month, every time you feel that sting of envy, do not run from it. Write it down. Be specific. I feel envious of a person's name because they just achieved something. Then, perform the first 2 steps of the alchemy. Identify the golden shadow. What is the specific quality I envy? Is it their freedom, their discipline, their courage? Decode the desire. What is one small, concrete action I can take today to start cultivating that quality in myself? This journal is not a record of your pettiness. It is a blueprint for your own becoming. Second, practice the ritual of transformation. Once you have identified the action, you must act. This is the Nietzschean step. You must channel the raw energy of your envy into that action. Feel the bitterness, the frustration, and instead of scrolling through their profile and poisoning yourself, close the app. Go to the gym. Write the first page of your book. Make the sales call. You are physically transmuting that destructive emotional energy into a constructive physical act. You are teaching your body that the feeling of envy is no longer a signal to retreat into shame. It is a signal to attack your own limitations. Third, express strategic admiration. This is the most advanced and paradoxical step. Find the person you are envious of, and find a way to offer them a genuine, specific, and intelligent compliment, not fawning praise. A simple, "I saw the way you handled that project. Your discipline is impressive." This does three terrifying things. First, it forces you to acknowledge their strength, which kills your petty resentment. Second, it puts you on their radar not as a resentful rival, but as a confident peer who can recognize excellence. Third, and most importantly, it is a declaration of war on your own ego. It is an act of humility that paradoxically demonstrates immense strength. It is you telling your own shadow, "I am not afraid of this quality. I am ready to learn from it." You have been given the key to an alchemical laboratory. You now understand that the most poisonous emotion is also the most potent fuel. That your envy is not a sign of your weakness, but a map to your strength. A compass pointing directly to the treasures you have hidden from yourself. What you do with this knowledge will define the rest of your life. You can continue to live in shame. You can continue to suppress this powerful signal, allowing it to curdle into bitterness and resentment. You can continue to be a quiet, bitter critic of a game you are too afraid to play. Or you can become the alchemist. You can accept this dark, beautiful part of your humanity. You can learn to listen to its wisdom. You can learn to harness its fire. You can use your envy not to diminish others, but to fuel your own ascent. You can decide that every person who succeeds is not a threat to your ego, but a teacher for your soul. The weak man is poisoned by the success of others. The strong man is inspired by it, but the alchemist is fueled by it. If this message has resonated with you, if you are ready to stop being a prisoner of your envy and start being its master, then make your declaration. Join the men and women who are choosing to be alchemists. Go to the comments and declare your new mission. Write, "My envy is my fuel." It is a declaration of your new power, a commitment to turning every poison into a potion. Subscribe to the Thinker's Codex. The great work is just beginning.